Hello, and I am JL, and I've been a hobbyist artist slash illustrator for a couple of years now. I started out and still is primarily a fan artist, and I like to draw sceneries and illustrations that depict slice of life and other calming artworks. So ever since I went digital, I've been doing this drawing hobby of mine semi professionally and been doing illustrations for private and indie VTubers beforehand. So as well as doing a bunch other private commissions. So doing this, I had improved mostly my skills by forcing myself to essentially be better at every artwork from the last. So, but also in general, I like doing art for myself during my free time. So, I had an affinity for creative art, but I hadn't really pursued it until just a couple of years back. And what really got me into art and illustrations in general was experiencing and watching the films of my favorite directors and studios like Shinkai and Ghibli. And it's also where my passion for drawing sceneries with storytelling started, and which also got me dabbling into animation as well. Although I'm quite still a beginner in that aspect. And like all other artists, I was a beginner, but in time I grew in skill with just the passion and the general love to be able to create my illustrations and to show and convey my feelings through it. Like those films had always left a strong impression on me to create and share that similar feeling by showing it through my own art. And as such, I've told myself to that if I was to create something similar like that, that I need to level up my art skills and be able to draw something close and similar to something that I've only ever seen in the cinemas. But in time, I still want to grow more and finally maybe be able to work with the creative artists and directors that I look up to. Which brings us back to this course topic. In this class, I'll be sharing my cumulative art knowledge that I have learned over the years, and and of course, it may still be incomplete, as all artists are always growing and improving. But I'll be sharing my ways on how to achieve a stylized artwork, something like this, both in character and background art, with a focus on anime style, photo bashing, and semi realism to get a feel similar to that of my favorite anime films of all time. And of course, this will involve a lot of cinematic composition, basically blending all aspects of studio work like storyboarding, background illustration, and even animation, all in a simplified one package for all artists can use. without actually going through the process of actually doing these ways, right? So basically, we're just gonna be using the essence of these processes as a shorthand method to and transfer these ways to our illustration, create our own artworks. So I've known a lot of artist friends, and basically most of them have the same gripe by doing rich, detailed backgrounds that are something most artists struggle with, often disregarding it and leaving it as like a blank or a void. But I found out that to create a believable illustration, that the background should also be treated like a secondary character. And I aim to introduce an easy and accessible way to combine the techniques of character rendering with environment art. So I'll be sharing my tips and insights to learning the core fundamentals of the elements of composition, contrast, color, and proper subject framing, along with detailed anime film style rendering and shading. So, which will be achieved by way of learning the methods of matte painting, or in short, more precisely, photo bashing. So, also with various techniques and theories used by other mediums of art such as photography and animation. So all of this will be blended and cherry picked to create our own eye-catching sceneries and backgrounds. And so I hope you are also excited as I am, albeit a little bit nervous, but I'll be glad to share my art tips and tricks for you to learn in this little art course of mine. And I thank you for being here, and I hope to see you, and I'll be seeing you in the next videos to come.